Well, hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. Please do let me know if you all can hear me and you can see me all right. And let's get ready to design a little bit. How y'all doing today? Good. So this is a first for me. I'm a I decided to do this because honestly, being a solo indie designer can be a very lonely job at times. And I don't have people in my immediate space in real life with whom I can share my design problems. So I have online communities that I can perhaps on our Discord is super chill, super fun, where I can chat a little bit. But there's something about talking out loud about your design process that organizes things in your mind in a different way. And I thought, you know what? I think I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try and see if it helps me out. Organizing some thoughts actually help me stay motivated. Sometimes you're in a rut and you don't feel like doing stuff. And this is a way to try and do it. I was talking to my good friend Spencer Campbell, and he used to do live design streams that he really enjoyed. He can't do it anymore because of his time. But yeah, after talking to him, I decided to give it a go. Let's see who's here. Tarcísio, hey Tar! How are you doing, man? Long time no see. Hope you're recovering well and ready to rock once more. Who else? Hey, so you're self-publishing? You're doing the layout yourself? I am, yes. The art that you can see up here for the cover and the logo are by Penflower Ink. Link in the description if you want to commission. I highly recommend it. Excellent artist, great person overall. And yeah, I love this cover. Besides that, all the internal layout, icons, fonts, and some of the art, the inside art, I'll do it myself. I've been talking to a lot of different artists to commission some pieces. But yeah, after I have the document ready, I'll be starting layout. It's gonna be a long process, but I actually enjoy it. I've been doing it so far using Canva of all things, but for this one, I'm moving to Affinity. It's gonna be a learning curve, but I think it's more professional. I think this game is gonna be a big boy. I'm anticipating something like 400 pages for this one, and of course, I have now my publishing partner, which is Critical Kit from the UK, and they handle printing and fulfillment after I'm done with the game. Oh, really? Oh, first time here? Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, so the card crawl method, the tile crawling thing, will actually be very important to consider during today's stream, which I should get to the point. We're doing settlement. Let me know if you can read it. Should I increase the font size a little bit? Perhaps it's too small. But the thing that I'm worried now is that you are mice going into adventures into the wilderness, but you have to get back to a place, right? And this place is your settlement. This is your safe haven, although it's not as safe as you wish it would be, because again, you're in the forest, you're alone, you're mice, you're small, everything out there is either trying to kill you or is going to kill you accidentally. So, but anyways, the point is you're going on these adventures, perhaps getting treasure and stuff, and you're getting back and you're trying to invest into your settlement to improve your place, right? So I think I can say that there is an element of, is that the term, base building? there is an element of base building to this game, right? There is a place that you care about. Things will happen to it while you're out, and once you get back, you're trying to bring good news. Mice in your settlement are looking forward to a return, because most mice never actually leave the settlement as long as they live. You're like the exception. So they will approach you. What news do you bring from out there? Do you bring back wares? Mice are scavengers, so they rely on people like you, mice like you, to go outside and grab parts, and even valuables that they can perhaps trade with nomadic caravans that stop by and trade for things. And with that, you can improve your settlement. You can like attract a blacksmith to live in your settlement, or an herbalist. So when you stop, you have better chances of repairing your weapons or healing. And you can create new structures like a tavern or a community center, so you can like lift your spirit and everything. So this is going to be a part of the gameplay loop. You go on adventure, if you survive, you get back and you invest in your settlement. And exactly, celebrated heroes is pretty much the idea we're going for here. And the thing is, before this gameplay loop kicks in, we have to start the game by creating the settlement. Of course, as everything in Ironsworn inspired games, you don't define every single aspect of it. One of the fun parts of it is letting it develop through play. But I think to give players a sense of belonging, let me write that down, sense of belonging, and a sense of community too. Sense of community. I think we have to start with at least a few aspects defined so that you want to get back, right? So the point here is things to create as we start play. Now, this is a little bit what we're going for today. The settlement improvement will be in between crunchy and narrative. I think there will be, this is a good question actually, let me create a section for this. So settlement rules. There will be a settlement sheet with stats, even 3 stats. The stats that I'm going for are, let me see my notes here. I have 1,000 pages of notes. Well, actually, I've counted the last time, it was over 200. Not only the ones that I keep in this notebook, but also the ones that I dictate to my phone, and then afterwards I transcribe. So there you go. Fortune. This is a measure of both your wealth as well as your kind of fate or luck, I should say. I like the play with words here because fortune can actually mean both of those things. And this is, in a way, the equivalent of the momentum for characters. And this one goes from 0 to 10. You also have shelter. This is both your defenses against invasion or against the elements, so your preparedness. That's a word, right? Preparedness. Hi, Wesley. Really excited for this game. So am I. Working hard here. This will be the equivalent of like health for characters. And it goes from 0 to 5. And the third stat is hope. This is like the morale of the spirit. It's equivalent to the spirit of a character, and it also goes from 0 to 5. So have these three stats. You also have then assets. Assets can be like specialists. So I'm thinking like herbalist, blacksmith, so on. It can be, what else did I write? Names are up to change. Structures. Like this is more like infrastructure. I need a sexier structure, a sexier name for this. But I'm thinking of like water supply, like building a new well. Can be like a cemetery, stuff like that. And then there is another one that I'm calling services, although I don't like the name. If you have a suggestion, please let me know. This is for like, let me get my notes right here. A library, a community center, perhaps a tavern. What else did I have here? A park, you know? And all those things will help both your mice when you get back to rest for your adventures. Having those assets will help you rest better and recover better. And also will help the stats of the settlement itself. Why? Because there are also events. These events are like a random table by season. So every time you come back, there is gonna be, let me organize this. There's gonna be something that happened. It can be good or it can be bad. You can, for example, learn that when you got back, a boar just sprinted through the settlement and traversed and destroyed housings. So that's a terrible event. Or perhaps you were visited by a merchant that fell into the graces of this community and decided to help with something. So this is random, but it is influenced by your fortune. So the higher your fortune, the better your chances of having a positive event. And these events will influence those three stats: fortune, shelter, and hope, and everything. Maybe commerce for service. That's a suggestion. I'm not sharing my screen while I'm writing. Oh, that is not a good thing to learn. Let me see. There is a I made do window capture instead of how's that now? Thanks for letting me know, people. Learning the ropes of live streaming. But yeah, I think it's better now that you have actual text to look at, right? Right. So yeah, commerce could be, but I think, for example, a park or a public square are very important services for the community, but they are not. I don't think they feel like commerce, and they are not as much as infrastructure as well. I'm still considering if you have instead of a service, because I don't see like library as a service. Service is more the thing that is offered than the thing itself. Spitballing. That's why I'm doing this live, so you can suggest. No, I didn't hate it. I actually like it. But yeah, that's the purpose of doing this. Okay, so the events, we have a random table by season. It will affect you, and the better you're doing with your assets, the better you can resist the effects of these events, and also help your mice recover when you get back. Now, why am I saying this? Because when we start creating the game, that is what I'm going for here. Things to create as we start play. You don't have much, right? One thing that I want to do is that your settlement should be unremarkable. You know that feeling of living on a small town in the interior? That if someone asks, where do you live? And you say their name, they kind of frown and ask, what is it known for? And you can't tell, but it's home. I can say that because that's the feeling I have from the town I'm from back in Brazil. And it is a very unremarkable city. And why is that important? 2 points. First, mice want to improve it. So you have a reason to do something for your place that you love, but it is not anything special. Well, 3 reasons actually. Other animals probably don't care, which is excellent. You don't want to call attention. And third, it pushes you to know other places. If you live or lived in one of these towns, the constant feeling that you have is that half of the time you love this place and you will defend it from people saying bad things about it. On the other thing, you're trying to get away and the first opportunity that you have. So as we start the settlement, it should feel like just another place, right? Just a small town. A small town. So the size is important too. I don't think we roll for size in this case. It should be medium to small. There shouldn't be too much infrastructure. It shouldn't be a place that you feel, you know what? I can stay here. I have no reason to go out. People are faring very well, and there's no reason for me to risk my life into like weird ruins left out by the furless giants, which is the humans that disappear from this world. Why would I do that if my place doesn't need it, right? So we have to start thinking more in this matter. But regardless, let's workshop it here, brainstorm. What are things that we need actually to create for our settlement? Well, a name, of course. I think some NPCs. And in this case, I would say like people that are important, but not necessarily quote unquote useful. You know what I mean? So they're not an asset. Some points of interest. I think it would be fun if you're playing a group, we would go around the table, and people would answer, what's your favorite spot? You know what I mean? I think this creates a connection of the players to the place. Like, where do you like to hang out? Again, they are important in an emotional level, not something that's very useful, or it can be like a small park, or that set of stairs behind the school that you used to hang out after school with your mice friends and play some games, like a fountain, or a tree, like a cool tree. Remember that the world is not mouse scale, it's like human scale. So a tree is like a gigantic thing for a mouse. It could be a bush too. So that is something to create, I think. Faces and places. I see what you did there. Oh, do tell me more, Lucas. Where am I getting this from? Hello, Tabletop Wanderer. What else? I think I have, in fact, when you do stumble upon settlements in the wilderness by accident, there will be a ton of oracles for you to come up with everything about the settlement. And but I don't think all of them apply for our case. But let's see. Ooh, like aesthetics. I think, like, is this aesthetics that I'm looking for? Like the architecture, or even the architecture, or even the location. Because one thing that is true about mouse settlements is that they might reuse even remnants of the humans. Like, your settlement could be upturned refrigerator, or it could be like a car, or it could be like a tree stump, or like a fallen oak tree. So I think creating these visual cues at the beginning should be very fun. Oh, Fate Sparks. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, totally makes sense. Am I choppy? I'm looking at the stream right now, and my webcam looks a bit choppy. I'm using a noise suppression filter on OBS because I have my fan turned to my face right here, because it's unbelievably hot in my office right now. But you don't deserve listening to the fan. But I don't know if this perhaps is making my CPU melt. What else would be fun? Well, there should be at least like an immediate need. What is the most obvious thing that we are lacking? What do you think? Oh yeah, of course. I've been working on this game for a year and 2 months, which makes it the game that I've been developed the longest by far. I've been creating games for 5 years or so, and usually I've made more than 40 games since. So I usually make like one game a month, or one game every 3 months. But this bad boy here has been a different kind of challenge. It's my most ambitious project to date, and it's, as I said, it's gonna be very long. Well, mostly because I have like 200 plus random tables to develop, and they will be all D100 tables for you to create everything. So you can play solo too, and that's a lot of things to create. So, but I've been polishing this bad boy here for more than a year, and very soon it's going to BackerKit to crowdfund, and will be like probably another year in which I will keep developing the game as it is, hopefully funded. And we can do this more, like even with the backers and get their input and everything. I think should be fun. Hey, Penflower Ink. I just mentioned your name and your awesome art at the top of the stream. That's, for you that don't know, Penflower Ink's the artist of the cover and the logo. Yes, 200 D100 tables, that's correct. And some of them are so, if I can say so myself, sophisticated. Let me show you one. I can't resist. Let me see if I can do this. Right, it is the weather table. I love weather tables for some reason. Where is my weather? Weather Oracle. There you go. I'll share the screen in a second. Let me see if I can do this correctly. Browse. Yeah, there you go. This is the, I think, version 9 of this table. I have 20 weather events per season, all unique, and all of them with mechanical effects. The lower numbers are negative, the middle numbers are more neutral, and the higher numbers are positive. So you can have like a perfect spring day, so you get +1 momentum. And not only that, you roll for the season as you start, and you can roll early, mid, or late for each of the seasons. And this gives you a different column to roll here on the D100. So the middle of a season is where most dramatic results live, and the early and late are more moderate. But you can also roll an off-season event. If you roll like on spring and you roll a very low number, you have to roll on the winter, late winter. That is, it's a strange, like a strange winter day during spring, and so on and so forth. This is the kind of a table I'm developing for this game. It's gonna be awesome. The event table is another thing. I probably will do a stream just to talk about the event table because it's unbelievable. Let me get back to it, to the design here real quick. Right, let's go. I've been so itching to get into TTRPG design, so I'd love to hear your story. You know, I have good news. I've been planning for the longest time a series of videos on how I make a living as a full-time indie tabletop RPG designer. And I'm about to actually get to do it. Let me show another table because it's so fun. Let me show the event builder. This is ridiculous. Right. Okay. Check this bad boy. So it is 100 unique entries divided by the tone, how perilous they are. They can be a catastrophe, a menace, up to favors and windfall, which are like positive things. The connection table tells you how this event, random event, connects to your story. Is this something completely new? Is this something about an ongoing thread that you're pursuing? Is this something about a lead, like your current mission? And what is the focus? It is a predator, a hazard, a group. This variation column makes you combine different events. So you can have, like, you find a mouse, but you can have a hazard. So you can find like a mouse in a flood, and you have to help the mouse. And there are columns for you to add more flavor, like the disposition of animals or creatures that you find, how the condition they're in, what they're doing, and if there is more than one, how they are interacting with each other. So yeah, this is the thing that's why it's taking like more than a year to do, because curating all these entries is something else, and coming up with a balanced way for positive and negative events is just yeah, it's a lot of fun, I won't lie. But this event builder took me 3 or 4 weeks to get to where it is right now. So yeah, fun, huh? Right, let me get back to settlements design. All right. Weather tables would definitely be your band. Yeah, I'll take it. I really love a weather table. All right, so settlements, again, if I counted here from my sketch, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 tables only for settlements that I have yet to create. Of course, I'll use some of the references, right? Mausworn and Mausworn SRDs provide some guidance in that regard, but most of them I will have to customize because, you know, it's a different game after all. All right, so what else? So far we have name, some NPCs, some points of interest, the aesthetics, so the vibe of the place, immediate need, and perhaps I don't want to front load a lot because people are willing to get into the adventure and do things with their mice. But what do you think of one relevant, like, cultural aspect? Perhaps, I don't know, a festival or a holiday, or like customs, like a saying. You know, this is also bringing the players in. Like if they create an idiom or a fun way that they say hello or good night, a fun handshake, or a like a special calendar event, or I don't know, slang. I think it feels like home. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Their houses. That's one thing that they have to create as they begin play. It is their home. Because one of the things you can invest during the settlement play loop is on cosmetic improvements to your house. So, you know, I think this is a fun thing to... if I were playing, which I will, I would love like to say, oh, I'm going to redecorate or invest on my garden. And, you know, just to give it more a sense of home and everything. But in the beginning of the game, what aspects of their home should they create really? I think type of government organization. Oh yeah, that's true. You really did. That's a good one, huh? Yeah, I remember you showed that. Yeah, that is, I think that is important. Like, is it a council of elders or a anarchy or something like? Yeah, good call. Type of government. Do I have it here on my oracles? I should. Yeah, governance. Oh yeah, authority. Is there a faction? Like, is governance a correct name for this? English is not Englishing right now. Let me know. Family, like what? Oh, like your relatives. Hmm. Oh, this is good. Like, okay, what does it look like? It should. I think it should be modest. Who do you live with? And do you have family? I don't like yes or no questions because they don't inspire conversation. Uh, where is your family? That is a leading question. Where is your family? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. It can be a found family. Yeah, that's awesome. And this is important, an important tension that you brought up, Lucas, because again, these are not like heroic, super, brave. Well, they are brave in a sense. They have courage, but not superheroes. They're doing what they have to do, and they are risking their lives essentially. They don't have much going on for them, and having family back home. It's not like your classic D&D party with orphans all around. These people, these mice, probably have someone to get back to, right? So how much do you risk? Are you willing to push more? You know that your boy wants something or your kid, but if you risk getting it to them, maybe you don't make it back. Oh yeah, that's a cool tension. I also included what a settlement is known for. Yeah, that is types of profession, products, signature dish, etc. Yeah, that is a good point. But I think perhaps you were not in the very beginning. Your settlement, as we create, it has to be unremarkable, at least in the beginning. So the idea is mice want to improve it. Other animals probably don't care or don't know about it, and pushes you to know other places. So perhaps we can create a certain flavor, but this settlement specifically is not very well known, at least on the beginning of play. It's like a nowhere place. One thing I like about settlements is why it exists here. Natural resources, easily defensible near a pound, a lot of food, something like that, which brings history to the place. Ooh, that's a good point. Oh, no need to apologize, Benflower. That's perfectly fine. Which is, in fact, it is a very reasonable thing to add to a settlement. But this will probably be created as they develop the settlement, like as they improve it and bring like new infrastructure or new specialists to live into town, the settlement will get more renown. You know what I mean? But now this idea about Lucas here, perhaps, yeah, a bit of the history, not the complete history per se, but the the why here. Why here? If they know like what makes it important to be here. That's interesting. Yeah, I like that a lot. And of course, we also have the stats. I think the stats will start all at 3. So we're fortune. It's 3. Again, from 0 to 10. Your shelter is 3 from 0 to 5. And your hope is also 3 from 0 to 5. And yeah, I need to make sure this also communicates how does this relate with tile crawling. Because essentially, if you start creating the neighborhoods of your settlement, you can't create tiles for them individually, so you can't go from one to the other. And as you create your houses, perhaps that will come, where is it located? Like you ask yourself, where's my house located? You'd probably ask yourself about the boroughs, like the neighborhoods, right? Here's what I'm thinking about the the settlement sheet. Let me show you. Let's see if I choose this. I think I'll change to window capture again. There you go. Okay. Let me know if you can see. Yeah. So I think first decision is I want it to be horizontal to contrast with the character sheet, so you don't mix up both. In play they are very obvious, and I think or horizontal character sheets or settlement sheets in this case are easier to be placed in the middle of a table for some reason. Perhaps I'm thinking of the way I play my home games, but and then down here we would have perhaps the fortune track, like fortune here, and up here I think we would have the other 2 tracks. It would be shelter. Oh, you can see it? Thank you. Shelter and what's the other one again? Hope. Right? And they would have, of course, there will be, as everything in this game, they would be like divided with little things. Why is this doing this crazily? Never mind, let's do lines. There you go, line. You know, like everything I'm doing here, it's gonna be like just you track it with paper clips, so there's gonna be from 5 to 1 on all of them. Just divided here. And now we would need like the assets would probably have a space for them. Like put the asset cards here. And then here would have fields for like name, and then notable NPCs. This is not to scale, right? And perhaps here notable locations. And then, I think we could have a bunch of fields for the events. Like it would be like a timeline, perhaps, of things that happen to the town. What I'm thinking is you can invest in assets which are like permanent improvements to your settlement, but you can also invest. Let me check my notes again. I gave it a name, I think, on, yeah, it's all called events here, but I thought about moments or also projects. The projects can also lead to something that has a permanent effect. Let me explain the idea. Perhaps you can help me with the name. Thing is, for example, you can invest to organize a festival, like the autumn festival. So you spend some of the treasure you collect and you help organize this festival. And with this festival, you boost the spirits of your fellow mice and you increase hope. However, this is not an asset because once the festival is done, the benefit is absorbed and off you go. Some of these projects might not be as festive as that. Some of these projects might be needed. For example, you might have returned from your adventures and you find that thunderstorm, a huge flood, destroyed the southern wall. So you have to, muster up some courage and some voluntary workers and resources and materials and raise that wall again. Again, in the same way as a festival, you are investing time, resources, and work to improve. In this case, you would improve your shelter that had been reduced. But those are moments. There are things that have a beginning and an end, and they don't become a permanent bonus, like an asset that is here forever. And I think these things could have their own. Let me put this up there, otherwise I'll confuse myself, which is very easy. Hope, shelter. Yeah, there you go. Boop. And here would be like assets, and these will be projects, I think. So this brings me back to the ASDF new guy question back then about, is it bit a crunchy or more narrative? It is not as crunchy as like tracking how much water supply you have, or the grains you collected for winter, or anything like that. It is all abstracted through these three stats: fortune, hope, and shelter. And everything is affected by your choices of how you invest the treasure that you bring back, and by the random events that you roll from time to time, right? So with this in mind, I wonder if the houses, the homes of the mice, where do they live? should they be represented on the settlement sheet? Should we have a space for like a small sketch? Or, ooh, perhaps does it live on the back of the sheet? How do you feel about that? Having like a sketchy map, and then perhaps you could have your tiles that you paperclip them to this corner here, but you also have like a sketch of the streets and the blocks and everything living on the back. And here you have like big old name of town and a big old compass. Does that make sense? On second thought, a festival could be annual, justifying a permanent bonus. Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Although that clashes with the abstract of time here. Well, it could be for like once per autumn, because I don't count days and weeks very much. I count seasons, early, mid, late, and parts of each season. So it's like months really. But mice in this world, they don't care much about math, so they don't count days and weeks. They probably refer to the moon or the rising sun and things like that. But yeah, perhaps once a season. That is one thing to consider. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking for the settlement sheet. Not a lot. I wanted to have an element of base building. I like this gameplay loop. Like you go home and the first thing you do when you arrive, probably, or the mayor or the elders, the council come to greet you and ask you what happened outside, and probably let you know. You roll for the random events, probably let you know what happened while you were outside and how you're needed. Ooh, there's another thing that might be here, which is a bank. Bank, not necessarily the building, like there's an actual bank, but the let me label all of these assets, and this could be like the quote-unquote projects. Since inventory in this game is item-based, or item tokens, you can't carry everything that you want with you. Mice are small, you have like 6 slots on your inventory. Except for that, you have your paws and your body. But you will carry a lot of stuff, and you can keep it. You can keep it in your home, or if it's something that you are like donating to the settlement, there will be like a place to deposit. So you can keep the tokens here and say, hey, protect it while I'm gone, and then when I'm back, I can use it. So perhaps the homes live here, and as we create it, players could, I don't know, add little circles to represent where they live, and they can perhaps tell me something about your neighborhood. How does that feel? What are your thoughts? Let me go back to design and write this. Here, prompt question. Tell me Tell me something about your neighborhood. Yeah, that seems right. I love tokens card for structures like the equipment. Yeah, so I think the structures, this is an ongoing question that I have in my mind, is how they physically manifest. For now, I think they would be asset cards, like the others that I have for the game. Let me get them. By the way, show you guys. Show something that I'm very proud. This is the folder that I put together for the playtest of my game. Benflower's art here, and then we go with character sheets. Check out the item tokens all glued together with blue tack. We have paper clips for the tracks, and we have the asset cards right here. Oops, those asset cards are poker sized, right? And I'm thinking that all these improvements, these upgrades for the settlement will be like this, asset cards, So yeah, you can see the size that they are compared to a A4 paper. Those are here, and all the tokens. Look how cool they look. Rations, torches, cookpot, and this is money, shield. Yeah, so the tracks would look like those here as the character sheet. See this momentum track? This would be the fortune track on the sheet for the settlement. And then the idea of it being assets, like asset card sizes, is that there is a mechanic for the assets that you have to flip the card 180. Let me get one for you. I still have my decks here, which is on this side is the things that the asset gives you, like gives you a boon, which is technically like an advantage. But if something happens, you can choose to pay the price by flipping your assets 180 degrees. And on this side, there are things that you have to perform. You can choose one to be able to flip back. While this is flipped like this, you can't use the asset. So see if you follow me here. Remember, you have 3 tracks, right? For the settlement. The events affect these tracks. And if for some reason one of these tracks goes to 0, and then another event would affect the same track, instead of going to negative, what you do is you pick an asset and you flip it 180 degrees. For example, let's say you have an herbalist, and your morale, your hope goes to 0 because another demoralizing event happened that affected the hope. Like perhaps the harvest was not very good and you were already at 0, but then it affects it. And now you can't go below 0. What you can do is, okay, you know what? I'm gonna flip my herbalist 180 degrees, which means that with this lack of hope, the herbalist saying, you know what, I don't have resources. It's been hard. I think I need a break. My shop will be closed for the season. and you need to improve hope or perhaps go on a small quest. I haven't decided that yet, so the herbalist becomes available again. This also will happen to structures, like let's say your shelter goes down to zero, and then another event happens, like let's say mudslide that would affect your shelter, and you can't go below. You can say, you know what, it affects my tavern. So you flip the tavern back down 180 degrees and it's deactivated. That means the last mudslide affected the tavern. There are renovations going on. People can't use it for its benefits. How does that sound? Is it like an interesting gameplay loop for you guys? I'm interested in playing a little bit more with that. I still don't know what the conditions are for you to flip it back. If it's just like improving the tracks from zero, or if each card would have a different trigger. You activated my trap. Yes, my asset card. I really like the tactile aspect of flipping cards back and forth. This I think from the time I played Magic the Gathering. But there is something about the physicality of actually handling the card that I think makes the decision to flip it very meaningful. But I don't know. Now, another open question is, should the settlement start with assets? That's an important question. Like, characters start with 3 assets each. Now, I said I want the settlement to be unremarkable, but should they at least, let's say, from all the points of interest that they create, should they pick one to like become something that is actually mechanically important? You get to choose one thing, or should we start from zero? I don't know. Let me think about it. I think I have an answer. If I make players choose one asset from the very beginning, there is one more mechanic that is needed to be explained before the actual adventure starts, which is adds another layer of things for them to keep in mind. And I think if I let assets to become a part of the gameplay only when they already played an adventure, they already use their own assets, and they have enough treasure to be able to upgrade, they will be more comfortable with the mechanics, so that when I introduce settlement assets, it won't be like an overload. Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to avoid, we didn't get to play, but now I have to understand how the tracks interfere with the assets and everything. If we just do the beginning of settlement creation with just narrative bits, and essentially the tracks all start with 3, there's no decision to be made, and you just, okay, I have a name, I have these people that I like, this place that I like to visit, I live here, tracks at 3, let's go, let's play. And then we don't have to deal with the mechanical implications of the gameplay loop until they get back to town. Right? I think I should write that down. Is there an end to this mess? Thank you. I keep, you see, that's how I use, I used to play in a band and everything, but now it's just like my thinking mechanism. Perhaps delay it until their first visit back. Less mental bandwidth. Wait. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'll have to play test it. Of course. It feels good to start with 1, right? But yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think on it. Let's see. The house itself, you position it there. Perhaps you draw something, you create a neighborhood, you create a place. Let me check my other oracles. Governance, factions, and noble houses. I think that's too much. What else do I have here? Places and services, districts, buildings, points of interest, shops, taverns and inns, entertainment, food, drinks, lodging. I think cultural aspect. I think this one can be like a go around the table kind of deal too, if you're playing in a group, of course. It's like each one of you, if you want, you can tell me what's your favorite tradition. What's your favorite tradition? And then I'll have, of course, tables if they want to roll for a random one. Like you exclusively use your left paw to shake paws here. Why? Superstition? I don't know. So it can be like superstition, a saying, a holiday, a festival, perhaps a like a game they like to play. I'm thinking of creating even a in-world game that mice play. I love those. I think there are a lot of games that have these kinds of things. Like if you want to play games as a character, this world has like a dice or a card game. I still don't know what it is, but I know it will exist at some point. So yeah, we have to create this sense of belonging, the sense of community, and also this a bit of a sense of urgency. Like we have to get out there. There is something that the settlement desperately needs. It doesn't mean that your settlement is in dire straits, like in collapse or anything. Not only because your stats are decent, like 3 out of 5 is decent, and 3 out of 10 means that your events are the roll is neutral, and but there's gotta be something that they need right now that that you should come back and invest. Now, I think I should look into some references. Do you guys know of good games with base building aspects? I know the recent Stone Top is very good at it. I remember I remember Mutant Year Zero had some base building things. I don't remember more. Like, doesn't need to be super crunchy, but it's gotta be part of the gameplay loop, not something that is just hand waved. Oh, you create a settlement and that's it. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely check them out. Maybe a seed-based version of Mancala. If you win, you get to eat the other's mouse. Oh my god, this is so good. I'll write that down. I'll write that down right now. Okay. And I love Mancala seed-based. You know what? I have a dice mechanic that is based on having a Mancala board that I created, never used in any game. Seed-based Mancala-ish game. Gets to eat the seeds. Oh, this is so good. I love it. I love it very much. All right, so references. I don't play video games anymore, but if there's a video game with good settlement building rules, not of course like Civilization, which is entirety is that, I won't say I'll play, but I can watch playthroughs on YouTube and get a vibe for it, like how it's done, and perhaps there's something interesting to import, as long as it's not super crunchy. But I like where this is going mostly right now. Places of service. I never played Mancala. Oh, it's so good. I horrible at it. I suck terribly. But again, it's the tactile aspect of it. Like just grabbing the little, it's like gemstones, like little rocks, and placing them around. It's such a fun exercise. I would probably do something, since this game, the Mausworn that is, can be played solo. I would probably do something that allows you to play by yourself if you want to, but I don't know if that's pushing. Perhaps I'll mix and match some abstract board game ideas, but the thing about playing the seeds is mwah, chef's kiss. Thank you. You don't mind if I actually use it, right? I really liked it. Okay. So, Stone Top, Mutant Year Zero. Don't know any other. Now, paying for things is another thing. I wanted to these assets, they should have like a value, but as everything in this game, they can be paid with pips, which is the currency, or effort. Effort is pretty much, let me put it in quotation marks here, you use your services. Mice like to trade in this game. So when I created the move to purchase things, we I established that things have a value, like value 3. So you can pay with 3 dots of your currency, but you can pay with your time, you can pay with your service, or you can do something for them that you cost you your health, like your stamina. Like, for example, you find an inn in your travels. Oh, how much is it to spend the night here? Oh, it's value 2, let's say. Then you can role play that and say, can I pay like 1 in pips and the other one, do you need anything done here? Oh yeah, the stable for the beetle outside is a little broken. And then you go there and perhaps you mark a dot on your axe. That is, you helped this person to rebuild something, but you kind of spent a little bit of the quality of your tool. So I want to translate it to the assets in town as well for your settlement. Of course, things are more expensive, like building a tavern, like could be like value 20. Okay? Which means, let's say you go out and you bring back a load of treasure. You can say, you know what, let's invest in a tavern. But you don't have 20, but you can start paying. So I would have, for example, a lot of dots on the asset card, I don't know. And you say, you know what, I have 5 value here. I will spend this 5. So you start the construction of the tavern. And you say, you know what, I'll spend some of my downtime here and I'll get to work with these people and I'll help out. So you perhaps use your stamina or use your tools or your momentum, meaning that you spend some time here and you get 2 more marks on it. Now, your own tracks, your health, your spirit, your stamina, they're very valuable. And technically, when you get back to your settlement, you're more interested in recovering than in spending. You're probably coming home battered and bruised from everything that you found out there. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't make hard choices. I like this idea, you know. Sometimes, let's say you are already at 17 and you come back and you just have 2. That's 19. And you say, you know what? I'll go there. I'll help them finish myself. So then you have your tavern ready. I think this idea of paying for things not only with currency but with your own effort is something that I value for this game, you know. I don't want it to be just like, oh, okay, if I have treasure, I can pay my way out of any situation. And this idea that community building is more than simply buying stuff, you know. Of course, if you find valuable treasure, depending on the piece that you can bring, they can be valued twice as much as dots, because then you hire people, like you hire mice that are coming from other settlements. Hey, can you work here? So of course, as we know in urban planning, money actually moves things along. So it's not something to be ignored. But if you rally the troops and you get together in your party and everyone decides, you know what, let's spend 1 health, each of us, and let's fix the southern wall ourselves. You can do it. You know what I mean? They are not counting on you necessarily because they know you have to go out and adventure. But it is a matter of feeling the sense of connection, of community, of belonging that I put it here on the top, which is what makes adventuring worthwhile to begin with, right? That's a very elegant mechanic. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm about, well, I can't say that I'm about to play test it because as you can see, all of it are ideas in my mind and these rough notes on screen and my trusty notebook filled with random stuff. And the mice just got out of the settlement without actually creating the details because I had to say, technically, we would create our settlement now, but since I don't have the mechanics in place, let's just put you guys on the road, and when you get back, we go after it. So I have probably 2 weeks to figure that out. All right. Well, let's recap what we have. We have settlement creation and settlement advancement. We have a character settlement sheet. Let me put this again on screen. A settlement sheet that technically will have two sides apparently. One with the name NPCs. Let me write it down. Otherwise, lest I forget. NPCs. Why is it red? And locations. Ooh, I should write Fate Sparks as a reference as well. NPCs and locations. Your projects, like your ongoing things that you can do. Your assets. A bank perhaps, and then the homes would be on the other side. This is the... Here you can save your tiles. Here is the name again. And here is the map, I think. Right, and then when you start play, we go around the table talking to our friends and we say, okay, I think name is obviously the last one, right? I'll have a table for that as well. So let's create first. What's the first thing? The look. And then perhaps the why here. The history. And then let's go around the table. Everyone say, what's your favorite place here? And then what is someone you trust or someone you like? Someone unique. Unique. And then let's say, what's your favorite tradition? What's your favorite thing? Festival, holiday, superstition, saying game that you need. Governance, where do I put this? I think in the beginning, right? I think right here. What is something, the most obvious thing we're lacking that we need right now? And then, then we go to the houses. No, let's put the name here, the settlement. And then we go to their houses. Where is it located? Should be, I think, the first part. And then put it on the map. Right? And who do you live with? I think the family part is part of this question, actually. and then like family, alone, roommates, etc. And then we set the stats at 3 and we begin play. I think that's solid. Now, if you're still watching, or if you're watching this one later on, let me know. Does it feel interesting, like an interesting start of play? Remember, this is not the advancement. This will happen only when you come back and then you invest on assets, see the events that happened, and how you can help improve your place. But as I start, this feels like too much. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If I have tables for all of those, that can help, because I think it can be a bit front-loaded to have like 8 of these things, especially things like creating NPCs from scratch and points of interest like landmarks can be a bit taxing creative-wise and can be a bit paralyzing. So I need, if any of these points, if you want to outsource it, random tables for all of them. Woohoo! That's gonna be a lot of that's gonna be a lot of tables. All right. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'm happy. Thank you so much for your suggestions. If you want to follow along, I'll be doing more of those. I really liked it, actually. The whole talking out loud and chatting with you guys really helped. And if you want to know more about the game, it's coming to BackerKit soon. I had a date, I had to push it forward because, life. But the link is down below in the description. You can follow it on BackerKit. That helps a lot, tremendously, and let people know about that. And if you're listening to this in the future and you have good references of base building games that I should look at, or any suggestions, any opinions on what we created here, I'd love to know. I'm considering everything. If you go to the link below, you can have access to the alpha document. There is more than 30,000 words already written, and you can leave comments on the document with your suggestions, opinions, questions, and everything. I take everything into consideration. I will make no promises to include anything, but I am reading, I'm listening, and I wanted to make a game that I'm proud of, but that's everyone that is participating is also happy to play. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, Flora, for staying here with me and for your kind words and suggestions. I'll be thinking about that Mancala style game this evening, I'm sure. Right, that'll do it for me today. Thanks, peeps. Thanks, folks. And I'll see you very soon.